Hi, I'm Dr. Tom Mulholland, founder of the Healthy Thinking Institute. In my 20 years as a medical doctor working in busy hospital emergency departments, I have certainly seen the consequences of stress and unhealthy emotions. I've seen all sorts of emotions like anger, frustration and anxiety and the physical symptoms they cause. Heart attacks, suicide, strokes, car accidents, depression, family violence, to name a few. As a doctor in the workplace, I have seen these emotions lower productivity and cause a wide variety of problems like employee disengagement, absenteeism, illness, injury and declining profits. As a doctor in family practice, I've seen family dysfunction, behavioural problems in children, divorce and stress-related illness. I noticed one common theme was causing most of these problems. Unhealthy thinking was the root of most symptoms and signs. Unhealthy thinking was costing time, money and lives, so I decided to do something about it. I devised Healthy Thinking, which has already helped thousands of people manage stress, save relationships at work and home, and improve business productivity. People are now living healthier, happier lives due to healthy thinking. So what is healthy thinking? Well, it's the ability to improve and change how you feel and behave by a simple process of changing what you think. In my role as a lecturer in psychological medicine, I teach medical students the basic techniques of healthy thinking. I start by comparing our brain to computer hardware and our mind to software that works within our hardware to control our body. A key hardware component of our brains is the almond-sized amygdala that houses our emotions. At the base of the brain, it sends powerful chemical responses to our bodies. I call it the grumpy unit as it affects us far more than its size might suggest. One role of the amygdala is to create the classic flight or fight response to threats, evolved to protect us from harm. The amygdala is often almost instantly engaged by our expectation centre in times of stress, sending signals in a split second to produce adrenaline and cortisol. Our bodies become tense, our blood pressure goes up to cope with any danger, and we're ready to fight or to run. It is a well-developed and useful response to real danger. The problem is that our expectation centre is not always accurate about the need for the amygdala to be involved. In today's complicated world, surrounded by real and artificial triggers, our mind makes software errors, sending constant false alarms to the amygdala, which now becomes the grumpy unit, firing far too often. We have what I call the expectation centre, which sits in our frontal lobe. When this is triggered, it sends a discharge down the worry circuit. As stated, stress becomes distress. The worry circuit can then activate the grumpy unit. One way to describe this is like the spark that starts at the front of our brain quickly spreads as the flame across our cortex down to activating the amygdala. Using emotional algebra, we can change the expectation centre in the frontal lobe that first informs the amygdala of a perceived threat. This expectation centre is programmed like software through our life experiences. It stores what we think our life should be like, how people should behave, and what must happen in certain situations. We can call this a demanding attitude profile. By practicing emotional algebra, we can rewrite our expectation centre software, minimising its demands for the amygdala to fire. Basically, we are disengaging the grumpy unit. Let's look for a second at how we may program our expectation centre. Do you expect other people to treat you with respect? Do you expect life to be fair? If I did, I would be in for a bad shift when I go to work on Saturday night at the emergency department as a doctor. If a patient is disrespectful, my expectation centre would send a signal down the worry circuit to activate the grumpy unit to fire the adrenaline and cortisol. If another doctor doesn't send me the referral notes for a patient, I can also choose to be grumpy. However, I am more likely to end up in the emergency department as a patient myself. So by changing our language, we reprogram our expectation centre. Using words like, I would prefer it if I had a referral, or I would rather people treated me with respect, then I am less likely to fire my grumpy unit. Let's face it, there is no law of the universe that states people should treat me with respect. I reprogram my expectation centre to use words like rather and prefer instead of must or should. I've installed my Healthy Thinking program to act like antivirus software for the mind. It protects me from getting stressed in a stressful work environment. It can also be used to treat stress in an equally stressful environment. As a doctor, lecturer and researcher, I am passionate about the link between mind, brain, body and health, and our ability to control the thoughts to manage our mood and shape our actions. Some of us spend hours every week training our body to do healthy things like exercising and eating well. Why don't we spend some time training our minds to think in a healthy way too? So this course is all about learning the tools to train your mind in a healthy way. I can guarantee it will give you results as long as you use it. So I'll speak to you later. Engage and enjoy healthy thinking.